These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.
Hello, Megan Thompson, tracking those top stories from ABC15 Arizona. And we are staying on top of rising utility rates. Today, the SRP Board of Directors is expected to hold a vote on a proposed price increase. The current proposal could mean your bill would go up by 3.5% or $5.61 as early as November. The Maricopa County Board of Supervisors has voted unanimously to audit the 2024 election, giving the audit a $480,000 budget. It will be conducted by outside agencies and will include the full cooperation of the county's election department and recorder. We are keeping you updated on the Diamondbacks bill as it now heads to the Senate. The team trying to secure funding for Chase Field renovations. The State House passing the measure to allow the D-backs to keep a greater portion of ballpark sales tax revenue. We will be following the next steps and let you know what the Senate decides.
You probably don't want to think about it, but everything behind me comes with a price, from the headstones to the flowers to the casket underneath.
And when families can't afford it, they turn to fundraising, selling food, and asking for donations online, doing what it takes to give their loved ones a proper farewell. To help, since COVID-19, Maricopa County has offered up to $1,200 in funeral assistance for low-income families.
The process of just trying to bury that individual can turn into a financial burden for those individuals that can either make or break them for other bills or potentially just cause a tremendous amount of stress.
But Interim Human Services Director Jason Matthews knows $1,200 is only enough to do the bare minimum.
And they're going to want a pine box.
It's something that Elisa Krasilik has to explain to people every day.
So when families will call and say, well, I need to know how much a funeral is, well, that would be like going into a restaurant and saying, I'd like to know how much a dinner is. Well, which dinner do you want? Which side do you want?
And she says, like at a restaurant, at a funeral home, there's a full menu of options, more now than ever before.
Do you want a prayer card to hand out at the service or a trifold story with an obituary, their photo and their life memories on it?
In 2023, the median cost of a casket and burial funeral was at about $8,000. A 6% increase from 2021, according to the National Funeral Directors Association. While Arizona is among the least expensive states for funerals, Krasilik says costs keep climbing, often surprising clients.
It's just that because people typically do a funeral 1 in 10 years, the cost of rising a funeral kind of doubles every 10 years. So, you know, what you might have gotten in the 80s or 90s for $1,500 or $2,000 out the door, then it goes to the 2000s. Now we're in, 2025. You are looking at that $8,000-$10,000 range.
But she says she makes transparency a priority and is always available.
We're available 24 hours a day. Death takes no holiday.
Her advice: have the tough conversations early and plan ahead if possible.
When you pre-plan, you can go on a payment plan. You can pick an option that's right for you. Most funeral homes will lock that price in at the price you purchased it at.
That way, when the time comes to say goodbye, you can focus on your loved one, not the cost. In Mesa, Adam Mintzer, ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, pure joy for one Valley educator. This was the reaction of Miss V when she saw her wish for new gym equipment for her classes was granted. $2,500 in new balls, nets, bats, and more were donated to her and Brunson Lee Elementary by Arizona Blue Cross Blue Shield. The donation is an effort to help young kids stay active and enjoy sports.
With your most accurate forecast, I'm meteorologist Jorge Torres. It'll be not as hot today and also breezy, with temperatures starting off in the morning in the mid-60s, near 80 at noon, and forecasting highs in the mid-80s, which is still more than 10 degrees above normal for late February. But the winds will be the bigger story today. Here in the valley, they'll be gusting around 30 miles per hour, starting right around mid-morning or so, lasting through the afternoon. In the high country, winds will be even stronger with gusts around 40. In fact, we have wind advisories east of the valley today from about 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, too. Across northern Arizona. We'll keep highs in the 50s for areas like Flagstaff and Heber. 60 in Show Low with 70s and 80s once again across the lower deserts. Here's that 7-day forecast. Temperatures going from the 80s today and tomorrow in the valley to the 70s for the weekend and early next week, too. In the high country, it will be windy today and then warmer tomorrow with highs around 60, but we cool things down next week with highs in the 40s beginning on Monday with some slight rain and snow chances through next week with lows staying in the teens and 20s.
For the latest headlines, weather, and traffic, you can always head on over to ABC15.com or you can download that free ABC15 mobile app.
These latest headlines from ABC15 are sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. One call, that's all.